All right, once again, I want to introduce Mr. Mark Gentili. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian. Mark Gentili. I work for Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, and I'm in the Water Conservation Group here. And I'm going to talk about water conservation programs for multifamily buildings. I'll also talk a little bit about the dire drought situation that we're in, and I'll cover that first, and then I'll cover all the programs that we have for multifamily. If you have a question, you can put it in the chat, and Laura will stop me and I'll answer the question. You could raise your hand also and she'll unmute you, but feel free to ask questions during the presentation or after the end of it. So I'm going to get started. Okay, so we're looking at California. What are the water resources? And the water resources tell you what kind of a drought that we're in right now. So this is California, and you can see LA in the little red oval there. So where do we get our water from? What are our resources? Well, we get water from the Sierra Nevadas. That's one place, and that's water that comes through the LA aqueducts. There's actually 2 LA aqueducts, and that's water that LA Department of Water and Power and the city actually own. So that's our water. It just needs to be conveyed and treated and distributed throughout LA. We also have to purchase water because the LA aqueduct is not enough. And we purchase water from the Metropolitan Water District. They're the wholesaler. And we have 2 sources of that water. One is the Colorado River Aqueduct, and the other is the State Water Project, which is water from the Sacramento Delta. So both of those are fed by Metropolitan Water District, and we pay, those sources cost us more money than our aqueduct water, which only cost treating it and conveying it. So where are we at right now? So with our aqueduct water, we're at 66% of normal. And the reason I put April 1st there is that's the end of the snow melt or any snow that happened, then that's the end of it. So that's kind of the common date that we use to gauge how much water we're going to have from our own sources or from MWD sources. So looking at Colorado River, it's 91% of normal, and that just means this past snow season, because you probably know Lake Mead is a big supplier, and that's like at its historic low. So we can look forward to, unless things change next year, we probably are going to see a possible shortage on Colorado River, or it could be the year after, because there is storage there. Unlike the Sacramento Delta, the State Water Project is what brings that water to us, again, through Metropolitan Water District. That's where our drought is. That water coming in, it's 5% were allotted. So instead of 100%, we're only getting 5% of that water. And that's why we now have an allotment that we have to meet. So it's called a volumetric allotment. And that means we have to save a certain amount of water. It's called gallons per capita per day. So every person in LA and the total water usage in LA divided by the number of people is the GPCD. But we have a certain goal that we have to meet. And I'm very happy to announce, at least during June, we did meet that goal. So we've got some big months coming up where it gets hotter. And so we're looking forward to the Angelinos. They can only water twice a week now instead of 3 days. We went into a phase 3, and people are listening to that, and they are saving water, and we really hope that continues into the even hotter months.
Mark, there's a question in the chat from Evelyn. She's asking, are there any rebates for tankless water heaters?
For tankless water heaters, there are rebates, and that's through the gas company. We don't have any rebates for water savings for tankless water heaters.
Okay, and there's another statement from Derek. He says he has a 4-unit building in the city of LA, and in the last 6 months, his water bill has almost doubled. He said he's sent plumbers to inspect for leaks, but there are none. He said he's installed water-saving devices like aerators, yet the water bill is still high. He has repeatedly asked the tenant to reduce water as consumption has doubled. He's saying that he feels like he has no power to stop the tenants from wasting water, and
Okay.
he's being billed heavily by LADWP
Yeah,
for his water use.
thank you for that question. We don't, so basically the one thing that you can do as a multifamily, and we're kind of jumping ahead here, but it's all the equipment that you mentioned. I mean, it's shower heads, aerators, toilets, aerators, kitchen faucet, aerator, bathroom faucet, again, toilets, shower heads. We've raised rebates for the toilets for a 4-unit or less, it's $250. For a 5-dwelling unit or more, it's $300. And that's going to a 1.1 gallon per flush or less. Then you have, if it's not the indoor usage, then it's the outdoor usage. I mean, there is possibility of leaks on the outside in the irrigation system. When you do turn it on, you can see the thing that you can do is learn how to read the meter and see how much your irrigation's actually using each day it comes on. And the way you do that, and if you don't know how to do that or want me to send you something on how to read a meter, because I didn't have that in this presentation, let me know your email and I'll send that. So basically, read your meter before you do your normal irrigation. Since it's 2 days a week now, it's Monday, Friday, or Tuesday, Sunday. And before you do your irrigation, read the meter, and then after. I know there's some indoor usage too, but if that's possible, that'd be something to do. I know you said you didn't have any leaks, but it's pretty common to have leaks in irrigation so that your actual sprinklers are leaking. You can also have valves that are leaking when the irrigation's off. So it'd be surprising. I mean, unless some tenant is doing something where they're just running the water nonstop, and we just can't go inside and enforce things. We can only see outside. We do assessments where we can either virtually or in person do. It's like a home survey. It could be in the dwelling units where we look at what equipment you have and see if there's something more efficient. And then checking for toilet leaks. You'll see, I have a little video on that. That's something that it'd be great to do on a regular basis. Generally, that's where I see most of the high bill usage has to do with toilet leaks. Any other questions?
Yes, there was a question from Carrie asking about, is this for rent relief as well?
I'm not sure what for rent relief you mean. Like, are there rebates for renters? Is that the question?
I'm not clear either on what the question was.
Was it in the chat?
Yes, it was in the chat.
Okay, well, if you could send, I just need to know when you say rent relief, if you mean like what can renters do to save water? I don't know of it, since normally you're not paying the water bill as a renter. I'm not sure what rent relief as far as water goes is. So I'll continue. And so we see what's happening here. And this is a state water project, and it's kind of showing how much this, as you go from left to right, time's moving on, and you could see how variable the amount of water that they supply. And this question mark is actually answered in 2022. It's only 5%. And the sad thing is, we knew in, I think, December, there was a 99% chance that our allotment would be 10 or 15%. And so that 1% made it so we're only getting 5%. And as you can see, these are some of the supplies for the Delta. And you see the San Luis Reservoir. and then Oroville, and you can see how far receded the water is in both of them. So what can you do to save water, or at least save money on your bill as a multifamily owner, or if you are paying your water as a renter? So I'm going to go through the different types of programs that we have. And it all revolves around free equipment, and then rebates that we have. And the last is a technical assistance program. That can apply sometimes for a multifamily owner, but we'll go into more detail on that. So free device program, we have free kitchen sink aerators. We have free shower heads, and these are all efficient. We have aerators. You can put a 1 gallon, like a multi-stream, or a 1 gallon aerated stream, which is kind of like a conical stream, which most people are used to. You can even put in a 0.5, which is an aerated, which is a multi-stream, kind of like a shower head. But whatever you want, you can order those. And I also want to mention checking for leaks, and how do you check for leaks in a toilet. And I have a little video. I'm going to mute myself because it's got closed captioning, and it's about a minute long, but it shows you what to look at if you went into an apartment or a dwelling unit, and what would you look at? Where would you look to see if there's leaks? So I'm going to mute myself. Okay, I'm back. I don't know if there's any questions on the video, let me know. This is if you want to order equipment, we have a SurveyMonkey tool to scan this. I know you can't scan it on your computer probably right now, but Laura said that she'd put it in the chat, the link to that SurveyMonkey, and basically you check, what do you want? How many kitchen aerators, how many bathroom aerators? As if you're a multifamily owner, then I don't know if I put my phone number there at the beginning, but you could actually just contact me, and then we can deliver, if it's for a whole, 4 units, 10 units, whatever, we can deliver those to you, or we can mail them. I'll just give you my number anyways, 213-367-8556, 8556. But if you go onto our website, ladwp.com/WC for water conservation, you look on the left, you'll see free equipment, or you can just search our website for free water conservation equipment, and you'll have this scan where you can click on it, and it goes right to ordering the devices. So that should be in the chat. And orders are processed and fulfilled in about a week if we're mailing it. And throughout COVID, we had like an 800% increase in devices, and we mailed them all out. Okay, so what about rebates for multifamily? Again, owners, managers for the whole building. If you've got common area landscape, you can buy a weather-based irrigation controller, and we provide a rebate based on how many stations that you have. And you can also put in more efficient nozzles. Generally speaking, those are rotating nozzles, which have multi-streams that come out instead of just a full fan spray streams that come, or complete fan spray. This actually delivers less water per minute, and they're pretty efficient. So we have $6 for each of those. Minimum, you have to get 15. Toilets, we have $300 per toilet, as I mentioned before, for 5 dwelling units and more, $250 for 4 dwelling units and less. And for the 300, a lot of times there's vendors that will install them for that amount. So it costs you nothing to change toilets. And lastly, we have rebates for turf removal, and that means taking out green turf and putting in California-friendly plantings and drip irrigation. One caveat to that is you have to have some kind of like an infiltration basin. It can be small that catches some of the water that would run off and stops it from going to the street. Not all the water, but some of it. Or you can have a rain barrel, but sometimes that's not really easy to do for a multifamily complex. So $3 a square feet for turf removal. And the way that you apply for all those rebates is you can go on the website, which is SoCalWatersmart.com. And you can, if you're just interested in what your rebate is, you can estimate. There's a tool for estimating the rebates. And once you put down that you actually sign in and have a password and everything. And once you put down that you're in LA, then it's going to show the rebates that we offer, because we offer some of the highest rebates of all the utilities. Metropolitan Water District, they administer this program, and there's 26 member agencies that their customers all participated, of which we're one. It's a relatively simple process, but for the multifamily owners and managers that are applying, you have to get a reservation. It's not after you're done. Whereas when it's residential, they can apply after they're done and just show the receipt. But you have to get a reservation before for commercial. And then the last program, technical assistance program, that's for if you were to do something and it's anything that's like, let's say an owner dreams up that you can do. It could be a gray water recycling. It could be putting in a recirculation system for heating the water, keeping the water hot. That might save some water. So it's a custom program, and we basically provide a rebate. We figure out the first 2 years of what the savings would be, and we pay $250 for 1,000 gallons. So there's a pre-inspection, there's a post-inspection, there's documents that go back and forth, there's an application. And so again, it's for anything other than toilets and all the landscape that we talked about. It's things other than that kind of projects that you might come up with. And little tips for technical assistance program. I think I mentioned them all. There's terms and conditions. If you want to go to that program, you just go to LADWP.com/TAP. Again, that's short for Technical Assistance Program. And you'll see the requirements there, and you can also print an application that you can type right into, and then send it over by email. You can send it to me. So lastly, I want to mention that we're working with the, besides working with the Housing Department, we're working with the Southern California Gas and MWD on partnerships that are coming up in the next couple of months. That for one of them is a common area clothes washer program, and we're contributing significant money for that. That's either, so you as the customer, if you change out, let's say you own the common area washers, there's going to be a very substantial rebate for changing from a top loading to a front loading. And if you don't own them and there's a vendor that you lease them from, there's you can get the rebate, or you can give the rebate to them, but it's for them to take out the inefficient top loading washers and replace them with front loading washers. So we're trying to get vendors to also change out some of their older washers in the common area, especially if they're leasing them out or leasing that service. And then there's a multifamily direct install program, which will start in a couple months. And that's actually direct install of shower heads, aerators, and toilets. So again, we're looking forward to those starting within the next 1.5 months. This is just the websites. We talked about some of them. Yeah, technical assistance program, I'm not sure why we have. This is the email for the water conservation group at the bottom here. If you had questions about technical assistance program, if you wanted to send in the application, you entered everything and then send it in. That's where you'd email it, you'd scan it and email it. SoCal WaterSmart is there for the menu rebates. And then if you want to see what our current rebates are for all the devices, rather than having to go through SoCal WaterSmart and say, estimate my rebate, if you go to LADWP.com/CWR, which is short for commercial water rebates, you can see the whole list.